Yeah, yeah, whatever. That's good. God.
Well, we're gonna just, this is going on blooper reel or something.
This is, High Tip Town with Matt and River.
Or River and Matt, depending on who's more important, and I think we all know who's more important here.
Well, this is my camera. This is my...
Well, that was a car horn, and this is my hot tub, so...
Yes,
you suck. Anyway, so...
But I know this is your... This is just really kind of awkward, because it's not like...
You just don't have a really good place to sit, do you? Well,
Yeah,
you just have to be a straight pimpin' OG like I am.
Just
It's one of those things where you kind of just like sit with your arms crossed like this, and you just like on the prowl for the ladies right now.
Hey,
By the way,
try to sit more in view. This is pretty view right now.
you better, I swear to God, edit like all this random
I
crap
will.
out.
But yeah, whatever. That's good. God.
Well, we're gonna just, this is going on blooper reel or something.
Yep.
I don't know. Would you be more comfortable getting in the back like that? Would you be comfortable with that in the back, or?
I mean, we can. Do we need to?
Do we need to pick it back up, or do we not need to?
I'm gonna go see what it looks like. Oh, that's fine. Well, continuing. Bloopers. Lots of bloopers. But that's fine.
Yeah, lots. Pretty bloopers.
Alright.
We've already got like somebody like PewDiePie style who to edit this, because holy crap.
Don't worry.
It's like as soon as that falls, Durr MLG podcast.
Anyways. Alright. Would you like to start with your animated rant that you planned?
Yes. Well, today, or tonight, as I should say, this is terrible podcast. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Naruto. Now, recently, could you scoot over a bit?
I can't.
Now, recently, Naruto, like the entire anime of Naruto, the manga series ended, as the TV series did. Now, the main character, Naruto and Sasuke, were like best friends in the beginning of the show when it first came out. Then they did a time skip where everyone else was older, Naruto was older, Sasuke was older, and all the other characters were older. Then like throughout the entire show, there's been like this kind of plot twist where Sasuke doesn't like his brother, and he also is siding beside fighting his brother, defeating Naruto, and gaining ultimate power. So what he wanted to do to get ultimate power was join with this one guy who was super evil called Orochimaru, who is this extremely evil guy who was made out of snakes. Yes, it was Snake Man. Anyway, so this Snake Man was... Yes. So anyway, so this Snake Man offered him ultimate power, and throughout the show it's like, he's like, no, I don't need your ultimate power, but eventually he starts giving in a little bit because he can't beat the tuning exams, and he's really powerful already, but he can't beat like some of the more powerful guys like Gaara or something, or Naruto, and that really got him down, so he's trying his hardest to like get to be the very best, like no one ever was, because that is the same anime. They're the best, like no one ever was. But anyway, eventually after the time skip, he does become evil and joins Orochimaru and gains ultimate power. Okay, no biggie. And he finally gets to fight his brother. Now, this fight's been a long time coming. He's never been powerful enough to truly fight his brother one-on-one and how normally fights go. And fights go on forever. It's literally 20 episodes, with about half of them being filler, and about 40% of it being about character development, for not only the two characters fighting, but more likely for the enemy. You care more about the enemy than you do about the actual ninja fighting him. And it's insanity, because this guy is like, after the super long fight, and people have compilated like all the just the fight scenes, no character development, no nothing, just the fight scene between Sasuke and his brother, and they're still over an hour long. Because it literally takes 40 episodes for him to finish the fight, and there's like 50 other subplots going on. But anyway, he finally defeats his brother, and after he defeats his brother, he's like... And after he defeats his brother, it's like... Sasuke. It's like... I'm sorry. It's like, what? You're not sorry, because beforehand, his brother killed his entire family's village, leaving only him and Sasuke left. No, keep in mind, he murdered his entire family. Everyone is dead, except for him and his brother. And then he's like, Sasuke, I'm so sorry, but you've grown so strong. And it's like, how are you sorry? Why are you crying? Why do you care about this guy? It's like, now he is the legitimate last Uchiha, and this last Uchiha is just like, I killed them all to make you stronger.
Logic.
Yes, you killed your entire family's village because you wanted to make your little brother strong. You were strong enough, as is. You could have taught him how to do all that crazy stuff. Eventually you get this super powerful jutsu, and it's like, oh yay, that was fun. My brother's dead. I am now literally the last of the Uchiha clan. That's just great. Anyway, at the end of the manga, what happened was Naruto and Sasuke use like the super ultimate powerful jutsu, and they blow both their hands off, or their entire arms. Like, here goes his right hand, here goes his left hand. And before they end it, they show them doing because the only way to perform jutsu is use both of your hands and do specific symbols. And in the end, it showed them holding hands and doing a jutsu symbol.
Yes.
Yeah, but then that never, it's kind of like, something like that. And he's doing something, but then it shows Sasuke leaving the village like, no, I may only have one arm, and I've totally forgiven Naruto, even though I was a total dick and killed about everyone he ever loved. I'm sorry and I'm ashamed, so I'm gonna leave. And what sucks is that's how it ended last time, but with Naruto. Like right before the time skip ever happened. So it's like, the mangas may not be ended forever, but it's just ended for now. Like that's how everyone thought with like Shippuden. And then Shippuden came out. Like, first was Naruto, and then Naruto Shippuden came out. It's like, oh yeah, reboot, it's a time skip, it's great. So hopefully like, they won't end the series forever, but they'll end the series for now, and then maybe do like a prologue or something, maybe not like about Naruto, but like about someone completely different, like, a different character, or a completely different character set in the same universe. And speaking of universes, I believe this time we actually got into some good topics, like the universe of Destiny and Bungie as a company as a whole.
Yes. Now, before we go on another rant, that's going to be filled with me talking and him talking. I just wanted to say that there are so many things that Bungie could tell Destiny.
So many things.
So many things. So, yeah, we're just going to talk about all that, basically. So that's what the podcast is for, so. Would you like to start like you did last time?
Yes, well, Destiny was a really hyped up game, which is how most games are. That's how you get people to buy the game and pre-order the game. And both me and Matt, we both pre-ordered the game and got exclusive content and all that stuff. So, it was kind of not like maybe our best decision, looking back.
Both DLCs.
Yeah, both DLCs that first came out, $35, and the first one's out now, and the second one isn't out yet, and we're still waiting for the Comet DLC, which is supposed to continue the story where it left off a year after Destiny was made. And that's kind of where the whole thing falls apart, because Destiny is a very solid game. Like, it has very solid mechanics and solid classes and a solid fighting style and abilities. And, randomized guns so that not every single gun is exactly the same, but they kind of contradict themselves, because even though you have some guns that are the same, and they have different perks and stuff, other times most of the guns are always the same. Like basically everyone knows every single exotic weapon by name and can say, oh, it has this perk. It'll never have a different perk. It'll always have the same perk as like when the other person purchased it. So it's never making like this exotic is more effective than this one or this one's more effective than that. And it makes sense because they're the rarest weapon in the game. But it's also the same for the legendaries. The legendaries can have like certain changes, but you'll never find like a more rare legendary than the other one. Maybe you'll find like this does a different element, but the other one doesn't.
And the level of rarities is like the same. Like so when you first start the game, alright, you get in like, oh yeah, this white stuff, okay, so that's cool. You know, you have like, I don't know, 300 defense or whatever. And you think that's a lot. But then when you level up, you move to green and to blue, and then to legendary and exotic. And so then just kind of forgot what I was gonna say.
It doesn't like.
But it's like when you move on into the higher levels, when all you have is legendary and exotic, you still get greens and blues, and you're like, oh, this is crap, and you have to, literally all you do is get rid of them. And I just don't understand, like, I feel like there should be a point, like, when you reach level 20, you stop getting green. Because...
Well, you do. You stop getting white at level 20. You never get white items anymore.
Yeah, you don't get white items anymore. No one uses green items anymore.
Well, I can understand, like, the lowest common form of items, like, you may never see them again. Like, that's totally okay. But what I don't find okay is the fact that the items... Like, the rarity in general, like, in Borderlands, guns were, like, completely randomized. Like, every gun you got was different. Sure, there was, like, exotic weapons and stuff like that, but they were really hard to find, and if you got them, then it's like, oh, you're probably the only one who has this, unless you play the game for a long time with a lot of friends and you get more loot and stuff. But with Borderlands, like, I can have, like, an orange gun at the beginning of the game, and it's like, oh, I'll use this gun forever, and it's like, no, because it's only, like, level 10. I could get like a white gun that's level 50, and it'll do like 10 times more damage than that gun. Because Borderlands, it was all randomized. The levels of the weapons were randomized, the drops were different, and you always had a small chance of getting a blue or a purple from every enemy you killed. And that was really interesting.
Totes.
And the weapons in Destiny are very limited as well. Like, every game has like their own like different weapons, and that's understandable. Like, you got machine guns, and then you got some of the new ones like fusion rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles. You know, you got all those other same ones. You only have 2 types of heavy weapons, about 3 types of secondaries, and about maybe 4 types of primary weapons. And they're all different classes, but they all use the same amount of ammunition. So you need to constantly use ammunition, which the system works fine, I guess, because you can still get ammunition like really fast just by killing enemies. It's not like a problem. And it was really interesting how it all played out.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Now, what about the story? Because I know that we had a lot of cutoffs with the story.
Yeah, so I think the main reason that the story in Destiny was, I guess, a level of bad. I mean, that wasn't like terrible, but I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't really good.
Well, most of the missions were exactly the same.
Yeah, they could have been so much better. And the fact that in order to get everything that's happening, you need to collect Grimoire cards, and then you go to the website and read them. And that's how you immerse yourself in the story, instead of actually just playing it. And that's one of the parts that most pisses me off, because why not just have the story, like, explain itself? Like, you were just put into this world by some weird guy. It's a robot. He floats around. And he's the voice actor of the...
Same man from Game of Thrones.
Yes. And...
Tyrion.
And I just don't understand, like, they don't explain that. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Why am I important? And then you just go in, you know, oh, your first weapon. And it was like, oh, this is cool. You know, you get a special weapon. You get introduced to the game mechanics, but you don't get introduced to the story.
You basically just kind of like drop in. And there is an underlying story to what's going on, but from the only thing that people understand is that it feels as though like you're just dropped in, and it's an MMO. We can understand that to a certain point, but it's like they try to throw in a story there, and it doesn't all mesh together. Like, we can understand if, like, you're a guardian, and you're starting out as guardian, and you're training, and you're getting your way up, and you're trying to get all these amazing weapons and stuff like that, and trying to, like, combat the darkness. That's not what happens. What happens is that you actually have a story. Your character in an MMO has a story. Not all of his own, because every other character has the same amount of story as the... Every other character has the same story. No one has anything different. There's no choices. There's nothing. You can play it together with friends, and that's what Destiny's done good. And that's what Destiny has done that's good, is because you can play it with other people. But it's not like... The multiplayer makes it tolerable, it doesn't make it better. And there's so much other stuff that you have to, like, focus on. And just a lot of useless mechanics every now and again, and some stupid... And, like, the stories are kind of dumb. Like, there's amazing boss fights, there's a lot of intricate enemy types. That's all well and good, but it's like, it's never how Halo was. Like, Halo had a lot of strategy to it, and that was really interesting.
And the story was, too. Like,
the story actually made Halo.
And the story of Halo was, like, it was, like, unique. And it was, like, really unique. And so unique that... when there's other games that come out that are similar to Halo, it's like, oh, this game's like Halo. Like a lot
like
X,
you know.
Yeah. And
like Halo made sci-fi shooters.
And also another thing is that I feel like Bungie with Destiny, they try to mix an MMO with a
single
game
player
similar
experience.
to Call of Duty, with a single player experience campaign that you can play with other friends, which doesn't really make any sense, and there's other people in the area. And so they try to mix, like, all these different types of games into one game. And I don't think it just works out, because when you go in to the game, and you're playing story missions with friends, and you go into a cutscene, it's just you. You see you, and you're by yourself. And then you're talking to your other friend through, like, the Xbox Live Party, and they're like, yeah, I look so cool. It's like, yeah, I do too. We look exactly the same right now. You know, except with our different armor and stuff. And I just feel like they should merge... So, like, you could have, like, maximum of, like, three people. And so you could have,
That's really how it is in the stories anyway.
Yeah, and I wish, like, in the cutscene, you'd have you, like, in the front, and then the last two people, like, towards the back. You know, just kind of there. And then you talk. You know,
like,
but they're there,
totally
they're present. And then, like, depending on how many people are in the fire team, so if there's just two, then it'd be you and the other guy. If there's just you, it'd be just you. But they didn't do that, and I just don't know why. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because they have the capacity to do it. Like, they do that with ships. Like, with ships. Because, like, when you're flying in the ships, like, oh, there's my fire team ship. That's cool. There's my other friend's ship. Oh, we're going into a multiplayer match? Oh, there's all the other people who are on my team. They're all in their ships. I can see them going to orbit with me. It's like, you don't do that for the campaign. It just feels like it's single player. Like, you're controlling the story, and this is just your lackey who's here to back you up. And then for the lackey, it's the same thing. You feel as though you're playing a single player experience. And it doesn't make any sense, because...
And they did a single style game.
And you know, that can be ignored, but not when like how they've done it is not when like the story itself is not based on like, because RPGs and like MMO games in real life have a story that your character has to follow. That's just like some MMOs do it normally, where it's like you're just a person in this world and you're living through the next day, fighting to get stronger. And, that's just the point. But some actually have a story for you to follow. And there's like side quests and stuff like that. With Destiny, it's just you on one path, on one straightforward path, with like some branching paths to do an extra mission here, another mission there. But it's not like quests. And the quests that they do, like the patrol missions, are all the same.
They're just the same thing over
and
over again. And they get really boring, but they give you reputation, so you need to do them, and it's not fun to do.
Because it's grinding. Like, they make Destiny super grinding.
But another thing is that no matter what your race is, no matter what class you chose, you're going to have the same story. And I feel as though they should have, three branches. So, like for the EXO, you have a unique branch for the human unique one, and the other one, the Awoken unique one. And then you have those unique paths, and for each path, you have the three classes, and the three classes can affect the way the story can turn out. And I feel like if they did that, it would have been so much more immersive. Because it's like, you could be an Awoken that's like a warlock or something, and you're still like on Earth dead. Like, you don't even know how you got there. And then like, oh, whoop-de-doo-dah, you're a guardian, let's go kill stuff. And it's...
And it makes you, like... I feel that that's what they were going for, like, you are the main character and everyone else is just a side character. And then people who come in, like, it's not their story, it's your story. Like,
but
it isolates you. Because it's like, you start out being revived. Everyone else in the game starts off being revived as a ghost. That's totally fine. But you, as a person, only witness yourself being revived. Everyone else is just normal guardians, they've been here for years, whatever.
Yeah, and there's other players, and then there's also the NPCs that have, like, just been there. And, like, the whole ghost riding thing, it just... I feel like if they made, like, if you were an Awoken, you'd maybe start somewhere in the reef, like, floating in a ship. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
In the reef, that'd be interesting, and then you'd have to find a way to get down to Earth. And, if you're an Exo, I mean, I guess you'd be an Earth, but it depends on, I don't know.
Yeah, like Exo, it shows you being created.
Yeah.
Because, like, that doesn't really, like, I can understand the human side, where it's like, you wake up after, like Russia's been destroyed.
Yeah, like that makes sense.
That made sense to me. Like, I thought, okay, I'm a human, this is how it's supposed to happen.
I was an Exo, and none of us were an Awoken. None of us have ever chosen an Awoken.
Yeah, and so, no, I have. It's the same thing. Everything's the same
thing. And all that's different is, what, your dance?
Yeah, like, like, they put so much effort into your dancing and your sitting,
like,
but they won't put any effort into, like, your story.
They did that for, like, the MMO aspect. Like, in MMOs, you can dance, you can wave, and you can point, you can do all this stuff by typing into the command, the chat, like, / whatever you're doing.
You don't type it in, you
I know.
What?
On the PC.
It's not for PC, though.
I know, but in Destiny...
You just push a button and
you just push a button on the D-pad, and you only have 4 options, and then it's like, you're trying to add an MMO aspect. It's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but, like, I mean, it's been done before, so it's not, like, anything new.
You never, like, talk to anyone, really.
And you never, like, and then they finally, like, they added a voice chat in the game. It's like, okay, well, hold on, wait a minute. So Call of Duty, when it came out, just automatically there's a voice chat. There's always been a voice chat. It's never been new. And then in Destiny, they waited until they added the voice chat. And that just, like, doesn't make any sense. It's like, why wait to add something?
The only thing with, like, Destiny is that it took them, like, years to make this game, and that's what game companies, like, that's what they do. Like, they build up the hype for, like, a year so that people will be so excited to buy the game. And then it'll be, like, it'll just kill the game because it's not that good. Because what Destiny did is, like, they released a game where they thought, okay, we're going to test this out. Like, a year later, if, like, Comp DLC comes out, all the other downloadable content comes out, like, it would have been a good game. There would have been hours of content that you could have worked towards. But starting out as a beta tester and then jumping right in, you notice all of the changes. And all of the changes that happened were, like, insane. Because it was started out like, you had to do this and you could get extra marks. But now it's like you can use marks that you can normally get to buy more materials. So it's like they make it less grindy, which is good. And there's all these other missing mechanics, like you can't see what a shader looks like before you put it on. You have to just guess, and you know, they fixed that. But these things should have been done, like you should have figured this out, like, oh, we probably should have done this, or, oh, we probably should have done that. Like, there's only so much we can forgive people for. Like, I could forgive the game for, like, the story if it picks back up in the new, in, like, the Comet DLC. But it's like, I have to pay for it to pick back up. Like, if I was just a guy, and I just bought the game, and I didn't want to buy any of the DLC, I just bought the game, I would be done with it in, like, 2 days. The story doesn't take that long to beat, and when you beat it, you don't get any good rewards, and you don't feel like you've done anything, because even though you've maybe defeated, like, the ultimate enemy, nothing changes. It's still the same. It's an MMO. The world can't change.
And it's like, many people have killed Crota by now, which is
the ultimate boss, yes.
And so it's like, you go in, you know, you do all the strikes, you kill the soul, you know, do all the stuff, and then, like, you're fighting Crota himself, you kill him, Coda's completely destroyed. But it's like, you and your party comes down to the tower, it's like, oh my god, dude, we just killed Crota. So amazing. Everyone's like, Crota? Oh yeah, he's still terrorizing everyone. It's like, he just murdered his face. It's like, nope, that was... And the other party just loves to kill him.
He's probably dead. He's probably dead now, but he'll be back, for next week.
He's been killed so many times, and
it's like...
It can change anything.
And it's like, I can understand that. Like, it's an MMO. You can't, like, just kill a boss, forget about him forever. You have to, like, kind of keep him there for a certain amount of... You have to, like, keep him there, like, throughout the game. Because, like, that's fun. You don't want to, like, beat the boss and, like, oh, you can never fight the boss again. Because, that's dumb. That'd just be, like, ruining, like, a good boss fight.
It just adds to the grinding.
Yeah, but that just adds more to the grinding. Because it's like, now the only way to level up is to get shards. And now the only way to level up is to get shards and then buy... And then defeat Crota and get armors, and then use that armor and get shards, and you just have to redo the raid 1,000 times over. And yeah, the raid is rewarding, and it's fun to do, but that's Bungie is a company that's done really well lately. Like, they've done, like, Halo games are really good. They had strategic, strategy, like, if you killed an elite, the grunts would go crazy, and if the grunts got behind jackals, they'd start shooting again because they'd feel more protected. And it's like, the AI was good. And the AI in Bungie was interesting at first, because people were just like, oh, they're flanking me. Oh, that's super interesting. But, people figure out how to get around this, and it's not really a problem anymore, and you barely notice the mechanic anymore. Like, I could go to a different MMO, to, like, a different game, and I wouldn't notice a thing, because oh, wait, it might be easier, but I still wouldn't feel like the same way. And, in a way, it is, like, on its way to hate. It's almost like Halo, like when you aim through someone in your scopes, they'll move out of the way because they don't want to get shot, or they'll duck under cover, and that's really that's interesting. And but it doesn't have the same like feel that Halo did. And one of the main things that they had is like different alien species, and they never utilized that because there's like all these different alien species, and they could fight each other out, but you are the priority target.
Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense because when you're on Earth and you're doing strikes and there's Hive and then there's Fallen and they're all just like pouring out and you're shooting like, oh my god, with your buddies, and it's like amazing,
And
totally.
Like, the Fallen and the Hive are still shooting at you only.
Like
they don't focus on each other.
When you enter the room, alright, they're having a little battle. No one's really dying because they just keep going behind cover and they're like, no, it's not really going anywhere. And your little ghost is like, better not interfere with the crossfire, and it's like, well,
wait there forever and no one would win.
They'll just sit there forever and no one's gonna win, so it's like, might as well just jump in and start shooting. And so when you jump in and start shooting, they're all like, oh, there's humans, and then they just like turn over and they're like, and then they like begin to like kind of work together in a way that they're just not fighting each other.
Yeah, they just don't fight each other anymore. And then when you ignore them, they don't look, and then you ignore them, and then they don't, and then it's like they go back to shooting each other, but then they don't actually kill each other. And what they could have done with this is like, because with every single strike, plot twist, every single strike, it's like you're only fighting against one enemy. And I can understand how, like, on the moon or something, the enemies could be different, like how they'd only be in this area, but like for missions, they've done this before. They've shown missions where it's like, oh, the Fallen and the Hive are fighting together here, or like the Fallen and the Elites are fighting, the Fallen and the
Elites.
Yeah, Fallen and the Hive are fighting in this room. But then you go to the next room and it's like, it's only Hive. You go to the next room, it's only Fallen. And then they're like in the Archon Priest, there's a lot of like Fallen and Hive fights, but they're slim, and then it switches back to like Hive. And it doesn't make any sense because in the Archon Priest, it's you. Because in the Archon Priest, it's the Hive are all like attacking you, the Vex are all attacking you in one area. And you're right next to a Fallen ship, a Ketch, a giant ship that's full of Fallen. Now I can understand the Vex are like popping in, trying to fight, but I don't understand why the Fallen aren't helping you either. Like they aren't trying to fight them as well, because they're trying to protect their deity from Guardians and the Vex.
I feel like the most priority target in that moment will be the Vex, because the Vex just keep coming back, and they do the most destruction, and I guess they take over more because they can constantly just remake themselves in a way.
Yeah, and that is the main enemy in like throughout the campaign too, because like the Vex are the more powerful, so you have to more focus on them, and that's why the final boss is a Vex boss. But the DLC it kind of like changes that too.
And also, though these strikes, like every week, they have the Nightfall weekly, it all resets, and the daily resets obviously every day. But the most overused strike I would have to say is Omnigul, and Omnigul is just freaking annoying.
It's one of the main DLCs, and they keep reusing like the same strikes for the weekly.
And it's so annoying, and like there's like the what's the one called, the shield just keeps rotating around.
Nexus.
Yeah, the Nexus. That one's also really used, but it's not that hard to defeat the Nexus.
Look, the strikes aren't hard in per se. They're just like it's a lot like more perks and stuff that makes it harder to fight them, and like arc burns and juggler and stuff like that. And perks just make it harder for you to beat it. And you know that's fine. That's fine for challenge, but it's like the same thing over and over again. And like I've literally beaten the Nightfall, which is like the hardest strike with all of the like like basically skulls from Halo on, like changing up how the game fights. And I've beaten it twice.
We
in the same day.
Recently, yeah, you did it again, but I
didn't get any rewards, but I still beat it a second time because it's like it's really easy once you figure out how it works.
Helping a few other ones. So that I had to get off at the time, which kind of sucked because I probably would have kept going. I probably would have done it again.
Yeah, and it was a okay strike. It was really fun, and I enjoyed it. It was just that it didn't branch off. It didn't like.
It didn't. It's just nothing is new. It's all just gotten old, and it's gotten so to the point of like it's old, but you have to do it because you need to grind. You need to level up.
The only
you need to increase.
Like this game, it seems though like it's not a game that you want to play because you beat the story. It's just repeating itself. The PvP may be fine every now and again, maybe some stories with your friends, but it's like, we played a lot. And the only reason we played a lot is because there's still that fun with your friends.
Yeah, like the with your friends. Something to do with them.
Only with your friends. Like my friend, solely a reason why our friend got the game is because we were playing the game constantly and he didn't have it. And that's the only reason why he got it. And you know what? That makes sense, because it's a really fun game to play with your friends and do strikes and missions with. And that's really okay. But it's not fun when you get so much done. But it's not fun when you've gotten everything done, you've beaten the story, and like even if you have the DLC, you beat the DLC in like a day or two, or they'll make the mission super grindy, so it'll take you forever just to get to the final mission itself. And it's annoying, but you still play it because you still have fun just messing about with your friends. Because Destiny, as a game, as a story, it's terrible. It doesn't have anything good going for it. But as a multiplayer experience, like playing with your friends, getting in a fire team, playing in like a control match, or fighting in a rumble match, or doing strikes together, that's fun, and you get rewards for it, and that's kind of what you strive for. Like, okay, let's have an objective. Let's get everyone together, and let's get them focused on this objective. Let's do the raid. Let's do a strike. Let's do the Nightfall. And then it's like, it changes every week, so that's what keeps you going.
And
then
daily.
when they, and there's daily changing missions, and weekly changing missions, and everything resets in a week, so you feel as though like, oh, we should probably play this, get new equipment and stuff like that. And it's fun, but it runs out of creativity. It
like,
dead ends at one point.
Like one day you're like, all right, well we need to do the Nightfall, so you get the Nightfall done. All right, well I think we have some more time. Let's do the weekly. It's like did that. It's like, okay, well I have a little bit more time left. Let's just complete the daily real fast. Get the daily done. Next day, well, I guess we could do the daily. Yeah, do the daily. I don't know. I have a lot more time left. Do you want to play some Crucible? Yeah, let's do that. That's all it is. That's all it becomes.
Like after you beat the story.
After you beat the story.
Destiny seems like something you could involve yourself. You can involve yourself into because like it's Halo. Like Halo took a long time to beat. Halo had super long missions that were really fun. Destiny, it felt more like a Call of Duty game with a Halo skin on.
It's like
it was like 20. It was like 100 missions that were like 10 seconds long.
It's like. They tried to mix some kind of MMO with Halo, and then with Call of Duty. And then...
And it felt more like Call of Duty.
And it felt more on the side of Call of Duty with, like, Halo aspects, like Halo enemies.
The sci-fi, the stuff like that.
Yeah, and then just, like, some MMO stuff. You know? Like, the MMO stuff isn't even an MMO. It's, like, half of an MMO.
Yeah.
Mainly because instead of having one massive server that, like, alright, let's meet up here. And it's like, you go there like, hey, what's up? How's it going? You know, it's like there's separate servers for the tower. And our friend had a birthday, and he got Destiny. And we were at the tower, and he was there. And he wasn't even our friend in Xbox Live yet. He wasn't even in our fire team. We saw him, he was jumping around. It was like, what? That's, oh my god. It was insane because you had to be really lucky.
Yeah, it was like once in a million chance.
Yeah, you had to be really lucky to meet someone you know at the tower with you while he's not in your fire team. Because there's so many different servers for the tower, because the tower isn't that large of a map. And so they have to have like a limit on how many people can be in the tower, and that limit is the server, and there's just hundreds of separate servers.
And the game was still fun. It was never, I never found myself like, I only found myself bored with Destiny when I didn't have anyone to play it with. Yeah, and when I played it alone, I felt as though, what's the point? I don't know.
When you're playing by yourself, it's just really boring, and you feel the vibe is just kind of depressing because of the music that's in the background.
It's like, it feels like a Halo game where it's like...
Well, there's just like no one there, and then you see like a couple people going by like by themselves too, and you're like, well, I'll do this, I guess. You know, like, the only times that I play Destiny by myself is when I'm trying to catch up to everyone else. Like, alright, well, I need some bounties to do. I'm going to get to Vanguard Break 3. And that's what I did. By myself, for like an hour, I spent on gaining reputation to get to Vanguard Rank 3, buying a helmet, and then get to level 30, because I was literally this close away from level 30. And so I got to level 30, I was like, yay, and so now I'm caught up with friends, and thank God, and we play.
And now we can play on the same level, but it's like, it still doesn't,
and it still
doesn't click.
It didn't change anything. Like, I noticed that, like, nothing had changed. And I maxed out both of my, semi-classes. What do they call it?
Maxed out both of the subclasses.
Subclasses. And there's a third slot for a third subclass.
And they still haven't added it.
And they haven't added that, and they haven't even talked about it. I at least
they have talked about it in their speculation, and people are saying, oh, it was going to come out with the Dark Below DLC. It didn't come out with the DLC.
And I haven't really heard any news. Like, I'm pretty sure by now they're like, oh yeah, they're going to come out with the subclass, like, for sure. And I feel like, well, if you're going to have a little slot for a third subclass, why not just add it? Like, why not just throw that in, and for people that are just starting, they have to level up to, like, to unlock it, like you did. You had to get to level 20 to get your second subclass. And then, once you start a new character, you had both of them unlocked anyways, and so it's like, okay, that's kind of pointless. And then you have the third one, and so for the Titan you have Arc and Void. And then for the Warlock you have Void and Solar. And for all...
You know what the missing subclasses are, and you
already know what it's going to be, basically. You don't know exactly what, like, the abilities are going to be, but you know what, like, the theme, or, like, the type, basically.
You know the, elemental damage.
The element, basically. So, like, you already know what it's going to be. It's not going to be surprised when it comes out. It's going to be like, oh, finally they added this in here. They should have added it, like, a really long time ago.
Yeah, like, same with, like, an MMO without... Like, they've even said, like, oh, we're going to add trading and stuff. And they said that, like, a month after the game came out. And everyone's like, where's trading? It's not here yet.
Everyone's like, been asking, it's like, where the frick is trading? And trading seems like a thing that you should just add in from the start. Like, it doesn't seem like what they have done. Trading should be easy. Trading should have been like, boom, no problem. You got trading in there. Like, before it came out. Like, even if it took an extra week just to put trading in, I would have been fine.
Yeah, that would have been totally fine.
If I knew that it's not going to be out.
Like, I bet like a lot of people are smart enough. Like, okay, let's just wait like a month or a week when Destiny's actually come out, so we can so they update a little bit more, change a few things around. But they update it so not frequently. They update it and change like there'll be an event in the tower where it's like Iron Banner. Okay, that's cool. But then there'll be like events like the...
I'm just gonna check something. Keep talking.
then there'll be events like the, what am I trying to say here? Like, when they update it, they don't update it very correctly.
Yeah, they just add smaller...
They add in smaller things, like smaller updates that should have been in there in the first place.
They tweak how, like, the weapons work, like auto rifles, how they shoot.
Yeah, like, that's okay to change that, but, like, put in the stuff that's important first.
Yeah.
We good?
I think so.
Yeah. So, like, put in something that's important first, and then focus on all the other stuff later. And that's totally...
We should rock on.
Yeah. But it should be more... Basically, all I'm trying to say is that Destiny as a whole is a game that the only thing it has going for it is its multiplayability.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it after you've beaten the story. And it's not a game that if I had known this is what it was going to be like, I would have bought. I would have said, even if it's like, oh, all of my friends have this game, I still would have felt like, maybe I should just get it just for the hell of it. But I don't like... Because, like, being a beta tester for a game is really interesting. Like, you've pre-ordered the game a year in advance because, like, oh, Bungie's completely changing everything. They've gotten rid of Halo, but they're going to make something even better than Halo. And you get all this great stuff, and it's like, oh, I got to do this. This is going to be great. But it doesn't turn out like you want it to turn out. And it just ends up to being, like, a big letdown, and you've wasted all this time. You've played the beta. You've done all this, and, like, oh, it was fun. But then it just loses its touch.
Yeah. When I first saw the trailer for Destiny, I was freaking out because it seemed like literally the best game that could ever be created by Bungie.
Yeah,
and it was just so amazing. I'm like, oh my god!
The creators
you guys
of
heard
Halo.
about Destiny?
The creators of Halo.
It looks so amazing. You should totally get it when it comes out. It's gonna be awesome.
The guns of Borderlands, the MMO aspect, the story, the Halo creators, the Activision controls, all this random stuff that they put out to hype it up. And everyone was like, oh, this is great. They invest $500 million into it, and we don't get enough content out of it. And it's just more and more, of it repeating processes and more repeating, loops and stuff that aren't very, they don't feel very new. It might be new, but it's not, it's the same old stuff all over and over again. And I still have faith that when they actually come out with all the DLCs, which is going to take them, 2 years before they're all out, 3, and then another, another month, and then it'll all just be shut down. I don't expect them to add anything else in. Yeah. Comet DLC, and if they end the story on the Comet DLC, I won't play it. Because if the DLC comes out, and I get it just for the heck of it, I feel as though I'll be on to something else. There'll be something better. Destiny can only live on its multiplayer ability for a short time.
And I feel as though that there's going to be more hype. It's oh yeah, they're finally going to continue the story. It's going to be awesome. Everyone's going to get it, and it's going to be such a letdown that everyone regrets it. And then soon Destiny will lose its hype, like many other games have.
It's lost its hype now. When the game came out and everyone figured out, the hype was kind of lost.
The hype was kind of lost, but now the type of hype that it is that everyone has it. Why don't I have it? Might as well get it so I can play with my friends. That's literally the only reason why people buy it now. And
there's no it has a gripping story and a great replayability. It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't. Replayability is Walking Dead choosing who you want to kill first. Replayability is replaying a mission and doing it in a different way. In Destiny, you go down this path, you do this, you're done.
And
and then that's it. There's no point in replaying it unless you just want to get more characters and just test out new classes. There's no and the replayability is 3 times as different classes and different races. That's it. 3 times, and if once you get to the 2 specific points, well, I beat the story, I'm done. What else do I do now?
Yeah, and the story for Walking Dead was outstanding. It was the best.
Walking Dead has a great story.
It was the best the story could be, and if we try to merge 2 aspects, great story, and then really fun,
good mechanics,
really fun mechanics, then that's possible in a certain amount of time. But when you try to combine everything, including an MMO and a good story it's gonna take a lot longer, and it'll probably take more money.
You can't blame
character development and everything.
And you can't blame them to be like. And they put $500 million. They had plenty of time to build a story, to hire an actual author, to make it like a good game. The mechanics could have been terrible, and the story could have been great. Halo was the same thing over and over again, but Halo was the same thing. Shoot the bad guys, kill the bad guys, but the objectives were different. They were long. The environments were interesting, and it didn't feel like the same thing over and over again. And you had vehicles and different weapons that you had to switch on that you had to take on the fly, and allies that would help. That would be there along some of the missions, and enemies that you had to take out. And you could say what you want to say about the Halo games, but they kept you interested. As a single-player game, which could be played multiplayer with another friend, you weren't restricted by that, was fun. And it was great. It was a great, Halo was a great game, and everyone expected a Halo. And that's what we got. We got a game that looks like Halo, but plays like, but doesn't play like Halo. It can play as much like control-wise, and element-wise, and RPG-wise as you want it to be, and it can be just like Halo, but it doesn't have the story. It doesn't have the replayability. And that's the only problem with Halo, was that Halo is fun because you can replay it. And you can replay the missions on hard difficulties and have more fun with it. You can get a different ending, or like a more developed ending, and that's totally fine. But it doesn't feel like it's there. It doesn't feel like you've accomplished something.
And, so, would you like to say anything to Bungie? Any advice to Bungie directly if they see this video?
They need to start on something else, because I know that Bungie's got to be says that they've worked on making a brand new, working on Destiny for years, and they could fix the game entirely, remake it, make everyone restart, and I'd be okay with that, as long as the game felt more real, as it felt more like a Halo game, as it felt more like what we've expected from Bungie. We don't expect, and Bungie's been good, we don't expect like a super brutal, violent game. We expect a game that's more fun, more, like a Bungie standard game. And it sucks because Halo 4, which was the first game 343 made after Bungie sold them the rights to Halo, is better than Destiny. It has more replayability than Destiny will ever have.
So basically, what we're trying to say, not to be offensive or anything about Destiny.
I don't care, I'll be offensive. Bungie sucks.
You need to figure shit out. Oh! Okay? You need to figure shit out. That's all we're trying to say, and that's all the time we have for today. So,
and next week, we'll talk about some of the other games from 2015, like Assassin's Creed, Unity, and the decline of Ubisoft.
Yes, Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed in general, and what Ubisoft needs to figure out.
And what Ubisoft needs to fix too.
And
eventually we should branch off from
just video games.
Yeah. So, but that's all of our time.
So when we say bye, we're just okay.
Goodbye.
So, well, I'll see you maybe next week. I have no idea when we're going to do another episode of Hot Come That might be 2 weeks, depending on when I get to go to his house. So,
yep.
As always, not as always.
I will see you.
Don't steal. Don't.
In the next hot tub. Goodbye.
Meanwhile.
Water's terrible. we should probably get out. We're gonna get Ebola.